In February 2020, there were storms across the north of England, Storm Kier. The Calder River, adjacent to the canal here, overtopped, rose up some 2.5 metres and emptied itself essentially into the canal, devastating this area, washing out loads of fill, causing a tremendous mess and requiring us to move quickly to get the lock open as quickly as possible. So kier have worked with the Canal and River Trust for many years as our framework contractor, and in those years they've developed so much knowledge of the waterways. It's fantastic to have their support in delivering this project. They were the right people to do it, and working alongside Arcadis, they delivered a fantastic outcome. The lock was back open and looking as good as new. The damage to the lock occurred just a few weeks before the first coronavirus lockdown in March 2020. This could have been a disaster for the project, could have delayed everything, but we adopted a pragmatic approach. All stakeholders to the job, ourselves, Kiers and Arcadis worked together, came up with a plan, a safe plan of working through the pandemic that actually delivered the project. And it was a testament to that stakeholder engagement that we got the project delivered. There could have been loads of delays, but we worked our way through it and did a fantastic job.
So when we first came to site, there was huge damage done to the lock and the adjacent farmers' field. So we reinstated that with big riprap armour stone, with a slight fall, which allowed the water in future flood events to be passed towards the bywash rather than towards the lock. Furthermore, the riprap acted as a big concrete slab essentially, which would take the initial impact of the water. We then carried out all the towpath works, which we used reclaimed stones where we could, and we dredged out some cobbles from within the navigation. 60% of what we used was reinstated.
There was about 5,000 cubic metres of debris to remove. Now this could have easily gone to landfill at great expense, or we could have tried to adapt the design and incorporate it into the design, which we did. So we took the material, we stockpiled it for several months to dry out, and then we incorporated that into the design. That helped on disposal costs. We didn't have to import large quantities of fill, and it also saved about 90 tonnes of carbon in the end.
Obviously when we got to site there was a state of devastation around here, so it was very difficult to see what state it was in. So one of the first things we had to do was carry out drone surveys to locate everywhere around us to show the complete and utter level of the devastation that we were facing. In order then to capture the information, we reverted to 3D laser scanning so that we could capture all the detail to reinforce that back into the design, which was being done off-site, obviously as a Grade 2 listed structure. The last thing that we had to do obviously was to use the BIM modelling, which gave us the detailed design that designers could use in the office. One of the main outcomes of the project was to ensure that we built resilience into the whole design, to ensure that if this ever happened again, that what we put back in its place wouldn't disappear. We've improved footpath and the strength of the footpath. We've improved into the bywash, the reinforced concrete through the bywash, and the bottom of the floor has been concreted through. So if ever we have the same conditions again, we will still end up with a usable canal.
It looks like it was as originally built. Hidden beneath it are structures, reinforced structures that add to that resilience that mean this is not going to happen again at this site. So it's got the resilience and it's got the heritage protection, and the local community really benefit and welcome that change. They didn't want to see a modern structure, they wanted to see their favourite old lock, and that's what they've got. So although we had the navigation closed for several months, we also have a very busy towpath running alongside this canal. It would have been so easy just to close it and forget about the local people, but Kiers developed a method of working that allowed the towpath to be open as much as possible, ensuring that people could continue to walk and cycle past and take an interest in what they were doing as well, so everybody won in that event.